Sam, we'll just take a look at a few of your videos from this term and last term, as well as some short game stuff. So this video that I have up now is from early June. So we'll just take a look at the front view for a start. So we can see here that at the start you're basically setting up with an even weight distribution, which is what I think you should be doing. Head a little bit behind the ball, a little bit of spine tilt away from the target at address, and then we want to try and maintain that same spine tilt throughout your swing. So let's just see how much you move off the ball or not. Okay, not too bad, but you moved off, so that's going to mean you're going to have to move back the same amount in order to get back to where you ought to be. But here it looks like you've moved more forward than what you ought to be. So I'd certainly like to reduce that lateral movement in your swing a little bit. I think that can easily cause you to hit some block shots to the right, but there's also some other factors which are creating the possibility of shots going to the left. So again, if we just see where you start off, and this is probably just a little bit into your takeaway, this start of this video here. But yeah, I'd rather see a little bit more behind the ball at address and with some top half tilt, and then rotate around that tilt. Now I'd also like to see a little bit earlier wrist cock. It's a little bit laggy takeaway. And the benefit of earlier wrist cock is that if you can set that angle between the left arm and the shaft of 90 degrees by the time your left arm's gotten to horizontal, then it's going to probably give you a better repertoire of shots you can hit and use out on the golf course if you want to hit a lower shot or take a little bit of distance off a shot. So if you're doing a late wrist cock and completing your wrist cock up the top, it's much more difficult to be able to do that shortened swing. So yeah, my preference would be more early set of those wrists on the backswing. And then we can see here that you come back to the ball pretty good there. I don't mind that position there. But on the follow through, probably we still need to see a little bit more recocking of the wrists to allow those arms to rotate. At the moment it's really a body release, and your body sort of turns out of the way fairly early, which means that your arms are probably going to follow your body as it turns to the left on the downswing, and that's going to mean that you have a tendency to hit some pull shots. So we'll just bring up a swing video from behind. This video is from early June. So setup position looks pretty good. You've got pretty good arm hang, spine looks okay, a little bit of knee flex. Okay, well, the key thing is then can you and do you maintain those angles? So we'll just have a look at the swing path. So that's a really good swing path there. Arms are swinging up pretty good. So that's going to give you the best chance to actually go up and down through the same airspace, whereas previously you used to go inside on the backswing and then you didn't have much choice but to come over the top of it. We may still see a little bit of come over the top here, and that's just that body is rotating. Lower half is rotating, so to start the downswing, so that means the arms are going to come out in front just a little bit. Okay, so and then we're probably going to see the club go left early on the follow through, and that's just what it looks like there, that the club is going left really early, and we can see that the shaft is coming out well and truly underneath your left underneath your left shoulder there. Probably should be coming out a little bit more that way, but it just looks like you're probably a little bit open at impact as well. Yeah, well, not too bad. And this particular occasion, your club face has released a lot there, looking like you're trying to save it from going to the right. But yeah, my preference would be to see just a little bit more recocking of those wrists and allowing a freewheeling natural release of the wrist and arm rotation to keep that club face square to the pass, so you can basically hit straight shots. you just see here on this close-up view from early June that, you know, you usually in the top players, you're going to see a lot more angle between their arms and the shaft at this stage in the swing. So it appears as though you're trying to hold the club face off in this position here with this arm position. It looks like you're actually trying to hold it off, whereas, you know, in the past I've thought you've complained about hitting a lot of shots that are curving a little bit left or right and some pulls. So that's one of the keys, is we need to keep that club face square to the path and somewhat closing, the toe going past the heel, and that should happen through a natural rotation of the body and arms and recocking of the wrists. A little bit narrow there in your width as well, you know, and left shoulder's really getting out of the way a lot there. So I'm sure if you continue to do some drills and exercises in front of a mirror and do some training with medicine ball and weighted club and so forth, you're going to actually start to develop some patterns that you can repeat, and will give you the opportunity to start the ball on line and hit it fairly straight. And now that you're able to make a reasonably consistent swing, we need to get you to start working on actually controlling the ball flight a little bit. So you're going to need to learn to make changes in your setup position, or make small changes in your swing path or in your release to help create a little bit of curve on shots. So we can start the ball a little bit out to the right and curve it back to the left, or we can hit a high fade shot when needed. So this is going to be really important in your strategy out in the golf course. So we're going to need to work on that sort of thing a little bit as well. Now we'll just have a look at some bunker shots. So key things in the bunker are that you need to have a nice shallow angle of approach when you have a good lie. So things that are going to help you with your shallow angle of approach are having a front ball position, so that the club can actually bottom out underneath the ball, not be still swinging down when it's in the vicinity of the ball. So front ball position probably should be a little closer towards your left heel there, maybe 1-2 ball widths further forward. We want to have an even weight distribution, which is what you've got there. A normal swing path, which is along your alignment. Because the club face is open 30 to 40 degrees, we need to actually allow for a slight movement of the ball to the right, so you need to align a little bit to the left. Okay, so basically same sort of swing. No need to be any more wristy or any less wristy with this shot. Look at the ball and slide the club underneath. So it looks like you've made a pretty good job of that right there. Okay, so a lot of things in bunkers are distance control related though, so you need to practice a large volume of bunker shots in order to know how far the ball is going to come out with certain lie conditions. And you need to practice those different lie conditions. So you need to practice good lies, buried lies, depressed ball lies, and work out how the ball comes out, because that's a big part of what you're going to do in a bunker shot is having some idea how it's going to come out of the lie. So in this particular occasion here, it looks like if you're aiming at the target here, you may not be aiming far enough left, with the swing path a little bit around there, a little bit to the inside, and then if you don't come over the top of it, if it stays coming from the inside like it has there, and with the club face open, the ball is going to tend to come out a little bit to the right. So you need to check that alignment and make sure that the ball, with a further forward position ball, it helps it start further left as well. So, not only do we need to hit straight, we need to get the right length. We need to hit it pretty straight out of bunker shots as well. So, but that swing path probably a little bit responsible for that direction, as is the club face. But yeah, not too bad with that bunker action. Now we'll have a look at a couple of putts. So I hope you're doing quite a bit of work on your putting with a string line, ensuring that you've got the putter face square at address. You need to make sure that on every third or fourth putt you come around the back and make sure the ball is truly under the string line. It appears as though your eyes are too far out over the ball, beyond the ball there, looking like this. So the benefit of having your eyes over the ball is you're going to get a better perception of where where the hole actually is. Probably, I'd like to see a little bit more room between your body and your arms there. It just looks a little close, so you need to stick that butt out a little bit further away and get those feet a little bit further away. And good to see the right arm and shaft basically in a straight line there, and relatively square address. So let's just have a look at the stroke, and we know that from the Sam Putt Lab reports that your stroke is actually pretty good. So what we need to do is do a lot of work on distance control and ensuring that you can start the ball straight underneath, something like a string line. You need to start it on line. So that looks like it started pretty much on line. Yeah, not bad. And then, I like the idea of being able to watch the ball with your eyes, the first part of the ball roll as well. So that helps stop any unwanted upper half body movement which could create path problems. Let's see the front view. So ball position really important here. That looks like a pretty good ball position there. Somewhere between the left heel and the middle of your stance is going to be okay for your ball position. That'll give it the best possible roll because the club head is hopefully at the bottom of the arc or slightly swinging up when it makes contact with the ball. Hands look like they're a tiny bit back there, and looks like you're employing a fairly much matching backswing and through swing, maybe a little bit longer follow through. Okay, swinging through pretty naturally and allowing the club face to close, so that's good. So the things you need to do, keep working on all areas of your game where you can get some feedback about whether or not you're practicing the right way. So you need to do that with your long game where you're putting alignment sticks down, where your alignment sticks are set up as a station so you can get your ball position reference. You need to do a lot of training in front of mirrors so that you can make sure that you're working on developing the right sort of patterns. And for example, when you're putting, you need to be using a string line or a mirror or other aids to help you with your distance control and your feedback about that. If you continue to practice this way where you can give yourself feedback, I'm sure you can continue to improve.